लोकाभिरामं रणरङ्गधीरं राजीवनेत्रं रघुवंशनाथं कारुण्यरूपं करुणाकरं तं श्रीरामचन्द्रं शरणं प्रपद्ये। मनोजवं मारुततुल्यवेगं जितेन्द्रियं बुद्धिमतां वरिष्ठम् वातात्मजं वानरयोतमुख्यं श्रीरामदूतं शरणं प्रपद्ये। श्रीरामदूतं शरणं प्रपद्ये। श्याम रामचंद्र भगवान की जय, उमापति महादेव की जय, पवन सुत हनुमान की जय। Okay, children, good morning or good evening, depending upon where you are. So let's start today's class. As usual, please put your roll number in the chat box, your name and your roll number. So anybody have any question from the class last time? Okay, nobody has a question. Very good. Okay, let's move forward. So last time when we stopped, we were at the stage where Hanumanji and other people, a team of
Jai Shri Ram, sir.
Deshram that was prepared by Sugriv, King Sugriv, and they sent in search of Mother Sita. So King Sugriv assembled monkeys from his kingdom, and also monkeys came from all over the world, millions of those. And then he picked up those monkeys and sent them in different directions. That you go to east, you go to west, you go to southwest, you go to northwest, and all directions in search of Sita. But he picked up some most smartest of them, like Hanumanji, Angad, Jamvan, Nal, Neel, to go to south. Because they knew that Ravana has kidnapped Sita, and Ravana is in south. Lanka was south of that place. So there's a much higher chance that she probably was still there. So that's how the search of Sita, that mission started. So that's where we stopped. So that was a small team, and the members of the team, as mentioned in Ramcharitmanas, Angad, the prince of the state, was their leader. Jamvant, the elderly man, was their advisor, sort of, And of course, they had Hanuman, and they were Nal, Neel, and some others. But these names are prominently mentioned in Ramayana. So they went to south, looking, in the forest, looking on the mountains, looking in the mountain caves. That maybe Ravana has hidden her somewhere in the caves, but they couldn't find her. And they got very, very frustrated naturally, and they had a time limit, right? That you have to come back within a month or 2 months, I don't remember. Sugriv gave everybody time that if you don't come within that time, then I'll consider yourself dead. You have to be back within that time and give me a report that where did you find Sita, if you find her. So time was running out, and they were all very frustrated. And they were all then under a big tree, and they were all discussing that what do we do now? We are very frustrated. We don't have an option. If we go back without searching Sita, Sugriv is going to kill us, because King Sugriv, because he has ordered us to do the job, we are not doing the job. If we don't go back, we don't have any food here. What kind of life we are going to have? We will just die out of hunger. So they were all in despair, discussing all this. So on that tree, there was a vulture. His name was Sampati. Sampati. It so happens that vulture, Sampati, was elder brother of Jatayu. And we talked about Jatayu a few weeks ago. Jatayu was the one who tried to rescue Sita from Ravan. So he saw Ravan taking away Sita. So he challenged Ravan that how dare you do that? So I'm challenging you, you cannot take her as long as I'm alive. So he engaged in a battle with Ravan, but the Ravan was very powerful. So he cut Jatayu's wings, Jatayu fell down, and then he passed away. That story we have seen a few weeks ago. So now, and Sampati is his elder brother. So he's sitting there and listening all these monkeys. Now Sampati tells to himself, oh wow, what a lucky day for me. All these monkeys have come and I'm very hungry. I'm going to eat all of them and I will satisfy my hunger. So he must have been a very big vulture with a big tummy, was very hungry, and he said those words. He said it aloud. He was not scared of anybody. Oh, I'm so fortunate today. Such a lucky day for me. And all these monkeys, I'm going to eat them. And all these monkeys heard this. Oh my God, there's one more problem now. Now this vulture is going to eat us, all of us. And what do we do now? Now the smartest of these, Angad, heard this, and the voice. So look, Angad lived in that area. He could recognize all these birds and animals by their sounds. He was familiar with those. So he heard that sound, that voice, and said, "This sound looks familiar. I've heard this voice." And they said, oh, we used to have Jatayu in the forest. And Jatayu has similar sound. So it's possible this bird who is talking this may be related with Jatayu. So he started singing glories of Jatayu. That, oh, my friends, do you know, there was this bird Jatayu who was so loyal to Lord Ram. He was a bhakta of Ram. He worshipped him. And when he saw Ravan taking away Sita, he fought with Ravan and he gave up his life in rescuing her. What a great man. What a great hero. Now when Sampati heard that, he said, they talk about my brother. And then he heard that his brother has passed away. So naturally he became very sad. The tears rolled out of his eyes. And he started talking to his monkeys. That, whom are you talking about, my brother? What happened to him? Tell me more. And then this Angad and other people told the same story in details. Then he was very emotionally touched and says, well, I was about to eat you, but you are doing the work of Ram. And same Ram, trying to defend his honor, my brother gave up his life. So I can't do that. I can't kill you. So I'm not going to kill you. I'm not going to eat you. So they thanked him that, thank you so much, Sampati, for sparing us. But please help us. What can I do for you? Please help us. You know, we are in search of Sita, as you already know. We have gone everywhere. We've gone to many mountains. We've gone to many caves, many forests, many lakes, many sages' ashrams. But nobody has ever been able to tell us where is Sita, and we couldn't find her. Do you have any idea where Sita is? So somebody, looked around. He opened his eyes, big eyes, and looked around, and then he looked across the sea. And I said, look, guys, guess what? I'm looking at across the sea, and I am seeing Sita. She is there. She is under a tree. There's a little park there, little garden there. In that garden, in that park, she's sitting under a tree. I can see it. All monkeys were very surprised. Hanumanji, Angad, Jamanji, Nal, Neel. They said, we don't see anything. How come you see that far? Then Sampati said, look, I'm a vulture. My eyes are like that I can see from hundreds of miles away. Like we human beings, we can't see very far, right? So if you go on the terrace of your house, or even on a tall building, like suppose there's a building of 10 floors or 20 floors, and you go on top of that, and you see, you can't see very far. After a distance, then you just see some dots, and like from the airplanes, if you sit in the airplanes, once your airplane goes up, then you just don't see anything, right? Everything is there. We don't see, but our eyes are not like that. Our eyes are not capable of seeing far distances. We can see 100 feet or, 100 yards, maybe 500 meters, I don't know. But beyond that, we can't see. So are you sure that Sita? Bole, I am very sure. There's a woman who's looking very weak. She's saying Ram, Ram, Ram. And that is Lanka. I know that. We all know that Lanka across the river, across the ocean. So she must be Sita. So they thanked Sampati. Oh, thank you so much. We've been looking everywhere and we had no clue. Now you at least told us where she is. So thank you. And Sampati left that place. Now all these monkeys came up near the sea, on the beaches of the sea. And they said, look, we need to go across to find Sita. But who can cross this bridge? Not bridge, who can cross the ocean? And that ocean was, how wide it was, anybody knows? From that place to Sri Lanka's ocean? Yeah, Medansh. Go ahead, Medansh.
Sir, in Hindi we say it's 100 gaj.
Not so gaj, it's so yojan, 100 yojan. So yojan means it's about 8 miles. Yojan is a unit of distance, like we have a distance now, kilometers or miles. So yojan is about 8 miles. So 100 yojan means about 800 miles. And 800 miles will be about 1,300 kilometers. So those of you are used to kilometers. It's about 1,300 kilometers. So those who are from India, you can say it's something like Mumbai to Delhi. That's about 1,300 kilometers, something like that, right? So it's about 800 miles. It will be something like, if we are in US, like New York to Chicago, that's about 800 kilometers, 800 miles. So it's about 800 miles. Now, how can you go? There's no boat there, there's no ship there, nowhere to go. And you can swim, but that will take forever. They don't have that much time. And swimming is dangerous. There are wild animals inside in the ocean. So now only option is to jump over 800 miles. Now that's a really, really long jump. Right? When I was in high school, one of the things we used to do, like doing long jump, high jump. Do you do that in your school? Have you done that? In your PT, we used to call it PT, physical training, I think, or PE, physical education. So one of the items was long jump.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
So I play with my friends sometimes.
So you kind of run, and from one spot you jump. So some people jump like 6 feet, some 10 feet, and you are given your marks based on how much you jump. So when I was of your age, I was in middle school, high school, I couldn't do jump much, so I didn't get very high marks in that category. Okay, so now they started discussing that who can jump. There are a lot of monkeys in that team. One person says, I can go 10 yojan or like 80 miles. Let's say I can go 200 miles. Somebody said 300 miles. But I don't think I have the ability or skills to jump all the way 800 miles. And if you jump only 300 miles, then you'll fall in the ocean, right? But no, we need somebody who can jump 800 miles all the way and can reach across. Then Angad, the prince, who was the captain of the team, says, look, I can jump 800 miles, but I'm not sure I will come back. But I have confidence in going there, but I don't have confidence in returning back. So there are a lot of reasons for that, why he said that, but those kind of things we don't discuss in children's class. So, but Angad admitted that he has ability to jump, but he is not sure whether he can come back. So but that won't be, the wise man, Jamman said, no, that won't work, because we want you to come back, you are our prince. So what do we do now? So nobody volunteers. Then Jamman recognized that Hanuman is sitting in a corner, he's not doing nothing. He's not volunteering, he's not taking any interest, he's not saying whether he can jump or not. Then Hanuman motivates him. Oh, excuse me, Jamban motivates him that, hey Hanuman, why are you so quiet? You are the bravest of all. You are the wisest of all. And you have been born, you've taken birth on this planet to serve Ram. You can do it. You can jump 800 miles. You are son of wind, Pavan Sut, right? Another name of Hanuman. You can jump. So why are you so quiet? Oh, Hanuman, rise. Time has come to serve Lord. So Hanuman gets awakened and he takes up a huge form and says, look, Jamwant, thank you for waking me up. Tell me what you want me to do. I can go across. I can bring Sita if you want me to do that. I can bring entire Lanka if you want me to do that. I can kill Ravan and his entire family, his all sons, daughters, children, everything, and then come here. Tell me what you want to do. I can do whatever you want. You want me to just take Lanka and dump into the ocean? I can do that. Jamban says, oh man, cool down, right? Sometimes people get excited, right? They can do cool down. You are the wise man. No, don't get into all that. We were told to find Sita and report to our boss. So just do that. Just do what we were asked to do. We were not asked to bring Sita back. We were not asked to kill Ravan. We were not asked to dump Lanka in ocean, nothing. So I bless you, my boy. You jump over the ocean, go meet Sita, ask her how she is doing, how is her condition, physical, mental, and whether she's interested in coming back to Ram. And we will give that report to Lord Ram, and then let him decide what he wants to do. So Hanumanji thanked him. Okay, thank you very much, sir. I will just do that. So now the story moves to what's called the 5th chapter of Ramayana, which is Sundarakanda. So Hanumanji climbs a mountain top there, and he makes a very huge, big leap, and he jumps over the ocean and crosses ocean and reaches on the other side. Now, while we are crossing the other side, he has some interruptions on the way. And those interruptions I probably will not discuss in this class. Some people try to stop him, but he manages and reaches on the other side. And when he reaches the other side, then he wonders that I have come here, now I am in the territory of enemies, right? So they're all demons here, they're all Rakshasa in Lanka. The Lanka is the state of demons, state of Rakshas. Ravan is the king here. So if anybody notices me, they will try to kill me, and then I will have a fight with them, and it will create a lot of chaos. And then I may not be able to find Sita. They may arrest me. Who knows what is going to happen? So I better go in a very disguised form. So what is the best way to do it? So I'll make myself very small. So he has all those siddhis. Hanumanji has all those siddhis that he could make himself very small, very big. He can change his shape from monkey to Brahman and things like that. Those things are called siddhis. So he has all the siddhis by which he could do all that. So he said, what I'm going to do, I'll make myself very, very small. So he makes himself very small. Masak saman rupa kapi dhari, like a little mosquito. He made himself like a little small mosquito. So now a little small mosquito, he did not become mosquito. He didn't look like mosquito. He was still look like a moth, but he became very small in form. It's just like, when we do a photocopy, sometimes we want to make a small copy, we put 80%, 50% on the copy, right? You all know that. So you make 50% and make a copy, it will be small copy, it will be the same thing, right? If you make it 20%, it will be very small print, but it's the same thing. It's not a different thing. So he made himself small. Have you seen that movie, Honey, I Shrunk the Kids? How many of you seen it? Raise your hand if you've seen Honey, I Shrunk the Kids. A funny movie, right? So there's a scientist, he does experiment, and his children become very small, tiny children by scientific experiment. Very, very nice, funny movie to see. Yes, Vedansh, go ahead. Vedansh, you want to say something?
No, sir. When you are telling the story, then only I came to know. Yes, I have also seen.
Then okay. Okay. Devanshi, you wanted to say something?
Sir, which movie?
It's called Honey, I Shrunk the Kids.
Okay, I didn't see
It's an
that.
old movie. It came at least 25, 30 years ago. So, yeah, a nice funny movie. So if your parents allow you to see, you should see that movie. So entertaining, comedy type of movie. So he shrunk himself, become very small and very small like a mosquito. And now he started moving around in Lanka. So naturally, nobody noticed him. Like, who noticed the mosquito? Small thing. And the Lanka has a big fort. Those days, all cities have forts. Like if you go to India, you find major cities have forts. Now, many of those forts have been destroyed over the years because those forts are thousands of years old, hundreds of years old. So over the years, sometimes they got ruined. But you can still see parts of those forts in many, many small cities, big cities, like Delhi, Agra, even small cities. So Lanka also is a fort, and those forts were made to protect city from enemy. When the enemy will attack, they cannot enter city because of there will be fort all around. And every fort obviously will have gates for people to go and come in, and the gate will have a gatekeeper or security guard. So when he said, okay, now there is a fort, so he went to one of the gates and he says, okay, let me enter. As he tries to enter, the security guard very smart. And that was a lady. Can you believe that? Even those days, the woman officer, right? Woman security guard. We cannot believe that, woman security guard. So that lady, her name was Lankini. I said, hey, oh man, where are you going? Where is your passport? You are entering our country. Do you have passport, visa, and all that? Then Hanumanji says, man, I was so small and she recognized me. So he told her, look, I'm just here. Let me just go and I'll come back. Don't worry about it. No, you can't go. I am the security officer here. You have to have my permission before you go. And if you try going there, then I'm going to stop you. And then Hanumanji says, okay, you're going to stop me? All right, let me see. Then he immediately takes a big fork and hits her on his face. And she faints and she bleeds and she gets very scared. And then she tells him, oh, Hanuman, now I recognize you. Because when I took birth, when Lord Brahma came to give Vardhan to Ravan, I was there and he told me that there will be a time a monkey will come and it will hit you. And that time you should recognize that the end of Ravan is near and Ram will prevail on Ravan. So I know you are for a good cause. I bless you. You can go inside and do your cause. And there's a very famous line in Ramcharitmanas, Pavis Nagar ki Jesava Kaja, Hriday Rakh, Kausalpuri Raja. So keep Ram in your heart and then enter the city of Lanka. So Hanumanji again becomes very small. He enters city of Lanka and then says, okay, now I'm in Lanka. Now let me look. So he goes here and there within the houses. Now it's very small. Nobody knows. It's so small. He can enter through windows, enter the door. So he doesn't need any big, doesn't have to make a big effort. Like in our houses, many times we get flies and mosquitoes and things like that, right? Even all the doors and windows are closed and we wonder where they come from. But they need such a small place. They just come from anywhere, right? So he went from palace to palace, from house to house. He even went to Ravan's palace. Ravan must have had a huge palace, we can imagine. He was the king. So he goes to Ravan's palace and he doesn't find Sita there either. So he wondered, man, where is she? Where is Sita? Where is Sita? That vulture Sampati told us that she's here in Lanka somewhere. He saw her. I hope he didn't lie to us. So he goes there and starts looking for her, but he doesn't find her. And he's still looking in Lanka, and then he finds a house which has a Tulsi plant. We all know Tulsi plant. Most of us have in our homes, right? So Tulsi plant is a very pious, very religious plant. So I was very happy to see a Tulsi plant. The Tulsi plant, Devanshi, can you mute? Okay. So here's the Tulsi plant. There must be some nice person living here. And maybe he can help me. Let me check. There's no harm because I've looked everywhere. I can't find Sita. So I don't know what to do. So maybe I need to check it out. Maybe he might. So he goes there and then he meets another person from Ravan, a new character in the story, Ravan's brother, and his name is, what is Ravan's brother's name, whom he meets here? Yes, go ahead, Midhansh. You are the only one who seems to be answering. Go ahead. Go ahead.
Vibhishan.
His name is Vibhishan. So Ravan had a younger brother, Vibhishan. He had another brother, Kumbhakaran. So Kumbhakaran is next, number 2, and Vibhishan is the youngest. They're 3 brothers. We'll talk about Kumbhakaran probably next week. So so by the time the night is almost over, it's early morning, and Vibhishan is just waking up. And while he's waking up, he's saying, "Hey Ram, hey Ram." He thinks he remembers Ram. So Hanumanji is still surprised that in this city of all the demons and rakshas who are enemy of Ram, somebody is saying, "Hey Ram," remembering Ram. Oh my God, that's what a surprise. So he was very happy. So he goes, meets Vibhishanji and tells, "Who are you?" So Hanumanji introduces himself. "Look, my name is Hanuman, and I'm a messenger of Lord Ram, whom you were chanting. And you probably know that his wife, Mother Sita, was kidnapped by your king, Ravan. And I'm here in search of her, so I can report to Lord Ram. So do you have any idea where she might be?" Then the patient tells him, "Look, I know where she is. I know my brother is a bad guy. I know he went there in the forest and kidnapped Mother Sita. He brought her here and he has hidden her in a park. It's well guarded, well secured. The name of the garden is Ashok Van or Ashok Vatika. Vatika is like a park. So Ashok Vatika. She is in Ashok Vatika. It's called Ashok Vatika because there are thousands of trees which are Ashok tree. Ashok is a type of a tree. So she is there. So you go there and you'll find her. And he gives Hanumanji direction to go there. Now, Hanumanji naturally thanks him that thank you so much. Let me go there. And Hanumanji goes to Ashok Vatika. He follows the GPS directions given by Vibhishan and goes to Ashok Vatika. And there he finds that, if I just show up in front of Sita, she will get shocked that who is this monkey? She might think I'm also some demon came in form of a monkey. I mean, no matter in what form I go, she would be scared. Naturally, because she was very scared there, because there were only demons and rakshas and all the bad people. Lord, let me just become a very small form and hide there and let me think about it. What is the best way for me to show up? And then while he goes there and hides in the same tree where Sita is sitting there, Ravan comes there. And Ravan comes there and threatens Sita. "Hey Sita, you need to marry me. Otherwise I'll kill you." Sita says, "I'm not marrying you. I'm a married woman. Lord Ram is my husband. He is come, he will rescue me. I will not marry you. Go away. Go away. Oh, wicked man, go away." Then Ravan says, "No, okay, I'm giving you 1 month of time. And within 1 month, if you don't agree to marry me, I'm going to kill you. I'll come back again and kill you." So she has a lot of security people there so that she doesn't run away. Those security people are posted by Ravan. And they're all women because, Sita is a woman. So there are a lot of women security guards there. under which she's kind of in a house arrest, right? Sort of, right? So he instructs all those security guards that, you threaten Sita and you try to persuade her that she should agree to marry me. Otherwise, I'm going to kill her. While all this happening, Ravan is watching and he's very sad that, look, Mother Sita has to go through all this torture with this wicked man. We need to kill him instantly. But then he remembers he was told not to play any such games. Just find out where Sita is and meet her and then report to us. And Lord Ram, what is her condition? She's alive, and things like that. So when Ravan goes away, then he sits on the top of the tree, same tree where Sita is, and chants Ram, Hey Ram, Hey Ram, Hey Shri Ram, Hey Ram, Hey Ram, Hey Shri Ram, something like that. So Sita listens and she is very happy. She's wondering who is chanting Ram in this land. Here everybody says Rama, Rama, nobody says Ram, Ram. And while she gets a little positive in her mind. And while all this is happening, she feels a little better, with a little positive state of mind. Then Hanumanji drops that ring that Ram gave him. We talked about it last time. So Hanumanji drops that ring, the Lord Ram's ring, in front of Sita. And Sita says, what came here? And she goes and she says, that ring. And she looks at that ring and says, oh, this is Ram's ring. Who dropped it? Where did it come from? And Lord Ram's ring is a very majestic ring. It can't be duplicated. It's not like somebody can make a copy of it. It's not like you can go into China and get a duplicated product. So she starts wondering that who has given me this ring? Please, why don't you present yourself? Where are you hiding? I want to see you. You brought so much solace to me. I feel so good about it after seeing these things. And when she says all that, Hanumanji presents himself in a small monkey form, not a very large, small, not a very small, but like something like a child, so that she can think that this monkey is like my son. That type of feelings will generate. He would present himself something very small, like a mosquito, then Sita would not be able to even see him. Presents himself as a very large, then she'll be scared that who is this large monkey? So present yourself as a small child. And he starts singing glories of Ram. He starts telling about Ram, that the King Ram, Prince Ram, he followed his father's orders, came to forest with his brother Lakshman and Sita. They were living happily in Panchavati, and then this wicked guy Ravan came and he kidnapped Sita. And so Sita said, so he knows all the story, so he must be a very genuine person. So they have a conversation. She introduces him. He talks to him and he talks about, oh, who are you? Well, I'm messenger of Lord Ram. He has sent me here to know your condition, your physical condition, your mental condition, and how are you? Then Sita says, look, you can see how I am. I'm very, very sad here. I have no life here. You just saw Ravan came and threatened me that within a month I don't agree to marry him, then they'll kill me. So go and report to Ram that he needs to come here very quickly and rescue me. Otherwise, he'll find my dead body. So Hanuman just says, okay, that's fine. Thank you very much. And she asks, how is Ram? Then he says, well, Ram is fine, except he's also very sad that he's missing his wife. And that's why he sent me and other monkeys in search of you. So I'll go and report to Ram about you. And then soon he will bring his whole army and we'll all come and we will fight with this idiot Ravan and this evil Ravan. And we will kill him and his whole army. And Ram will take you with grace and respect. So, Gaga, that's very good. Now what? So before I go to Ram, say I'm in a long trip. I 800 miles of jump. And then after that, all night, I've been going from house to house in search of you. So I'm very hungry. So do you have any food for me? Sita says, I don't have any food for you. But look, you're in a park. There are lots of nice trees here. There are mango trees, there are papaya trees, there are apple trees, orange trees, grapevines. So you can go and eat whatever you want. So, are you sure, mother, you permit me to go and eat? Yeah, go ahead and eat. There's lots of fruits. Nobody's eating them. So Hanumanji goes into that park and he starts eating all those fruits. Mangoes, apples, grapes, bananas, whatever. But the park has its own security guards, big park. And nobody's allowed to eat like that. Like we can't go to a park and eat, whatever we want, can we? In a public park? Or we can't just pluck the flowers and just bring home. No, we can't. It's not our property. Or at least we need to take permission of the local gardener or security guard that, I like this rose. I want to take one rose to my mother or something. We can't just pluck it. So those guards stopped him. What are you doing? This is Ravan's park and nobody is supposed to come and eat any of this without our permission. And you did not take permission and you are eating all this. And not only you're eating, you're damaging the whole park. You're ruining it. Then Hanuman said, I'm very hungry. I need to eat. And they start hitting Hanumanji. Then Hanumanji is not going to take it like that. So he will hit back. And he hit a lot of those demons, a lot of those Rakshasas there. And when he hit a lot of Rakshasas, all these Rakshasas wondering that, man, this kind of is some superhero. This simple monkey can able to hit all of us. So we better report to Ravan. So they went to Ravan's court. He said, why are you guys here? You're supposed to be in the park guarding my Ashok one. He said, look, sir, we've come here because there's one monkey. Monkey has come, God knows from where, and he's just ruining the park. So Ravan says, is that so? Well, yeah. Then Ravan tells his son, Meghnad. He has got several sons. His eldest son is Meghnad, very brave son, very courageous son. The word Meghnad means cloud, Nad means sound. So somebody, when he speaks, his sound is like a cloud sound, very thundering sound. So that's why he was named as Meghnad. So tells his son Meghnad that why don't you go to park and try to figure out who is this monkey, trying to show off so much courage. And don't kill him, just arrest him and bring it to me. I want to see him, I want to talk to him, and then we'll punish him. So Meghnad says, yes, daddy, whatever you tell me. So Meghnad comes to park with his army and his all power, and he uses a weapon which is called Brahmastra. The Brahmastra is some sort of a weapon which doesn't fail. So he arrests Hanumanji using Brahmastra, that weapon, and brings Hanumanji to the court of Ravan. And when Ravan sees Hanuman, then he says, okay, now release him and let's talk to him. Then, who are you, monkey? Then Hanumanji very politely talks to him that, oh, King Ravan, I'm an ambassador of Prince Ram. He has sent me here to give you a message. But what is the message? Well, the message is simple, that you came to forest. They were living happily, quietly there. He, his brother Lakshman, and his wife Sita. They did not do any harm to you. You came there, disguised yourself, and played a trick. And when Sita was alone, you kidnapped her. How cowardly act that was. And you brought her here. How dare you do that? But still Ram is willing to pardon you if you release or relieve Sita right away and surrender to Ram. That, sorry, I made a mistake, I apologize. Then of course Ravan very proudly, he said, oh, nothing like that is going to happen. You go and tell your boss that I'm not doing any such thing. But before that, you ruined my park. How dare you ruin my park? We need to punish you. So we're going to punish you. So let's just, he orders all his court, his soldiers that he just wanted to just kill him because he's just giving a lot of lectures to me, do this, do that, do this. He ruined our park. We just kill this person. While he makes that statement to kill Hanuman, Vibhishan, whom we just saw, enters the court. And he hears that Ravan has given that order. And he very respectfully tells Ravan, oh, my dear brother, oh, king, oh, Ravan, please don't give such orders. He is an ambassador. He is an ambassador sent by Ram, Prince Ram. And there's a protocol in politics that you don't kill ambassadors. They bring a message. You don't, they're saying in English, you don't shoot a messenger. So, I bring some message to you. You don't kill that messenger because he brings a good news. A postman brings you a letter and a letter has some bad news. So a letter comes, nowadays a lot of letters don't come. Everything is on email and WhatsApp, right? But actually letter comes, a letter says, oh, you failed in the exam. Can you kill the postman? We don't kill the postman. The postman is giving the message. You failed because whatever, not postman's fault. So you don't kill postman for that. You may want to kill your teacher who failed you or whatever, I don't know that. But you don't kill postman. Postman is just a messenger. So you don't kill a messenger. He's brought a message of Ram, the Prince Ram. So, okay, whatever you say, we'll not kill him. So what do? We need to punish him. So why don't you do this? Just burn his tail, because these monkeys love their tail. So burn his tail. When his tail is burned, so he will go to his Ram without tail. That will make fun of his appearance. So he gives his order to all his soldiers. So Coca Point will burn his tail. So they apply a lot of oil and ghee and butter to his tail, and then they just put fire on it. And Manji sees all this and internally is very happy. Wow, great thing. And nobody will be happy, but he is happy because he's got all those powers. So when the tail starts burning, he makes his tail very long, miles long tail, but he has that power, right? So the tail burns at the tail end, literally. Rest of the body doesn't burn. As the tail approaches the rest of the body, he keeps making his tail longer and longer. And then he starts flying in the sky with his burning tail and burns every house in Lanka, except the house of Vibhishan. Because Vibhishan, he knows, is Lord Ram's devotee. So he goes door to door, house to house, palace to palace, and burns every house except house of Vibhishan, and burns the entire Lanka. This story all of you know, and this is a very popular scene of photographs that we see in the pictures. So, and after burning entire Lanka, destroying entire Lanka, he jumps into the ocean and extinguishes his tail fire and goes to Mother Sita and prays her that, look, you have permitted me to eat fruits. I did that, but I did rest drama to show our power to Ravan that, look, we are not weak. We have one single monkey can do this much. Just imagine how much our entire army will do. When Ram himself comes, he will be terror for you. He will kill you. So hopefully by this show of power, Ravan will get scared and he will surrender. Of course, that didn't happen, as we know the rest of the story. But Hanumanji tried to show some force there so that a big battle or war will get prevented. So his mission is accomplished. He takes blessings from Mother Sita. Mother blesses him and he flies back to the other part of the ocean, meets his team. The whole team goes back to Sugriva, and then they all go to Lord Ram and they give the entire report. The entire report we already know that this is all that happened. Hanumanji went there, he met Sita. Sita is totally committed to you. Of course, she's frail, she's lost a lot of weight, and Ravana has given 1 month of time. If within 1 month we don't rescue, she will be killed by Ravana. That's what he is threatened. Now, while all this happened, everybody in Lanka is terrorized that one monkey came and look what he has done. Just one monkey. He just burned the entire Lanka and we couldn't do anything. Even Ravana couldn't do anything and went and left Lanka safely. We couldn't do anything. So it's a matter of concern. So people are talking with each other, but nobody has courage to talk to Ravana about it because everybody's scared of him. So one day when the court was in session, Vibhishanji comes and he says, it's my duty to tell king that something has to be done. So he very respectfully talks to Ravana. Oh, my brother, oh, King Ravana, you know what happened. One small monkey came and he challenged you right here in this court. You tried to punish him by burning his tail. And guess what has happened? The whole Lanka got burned. Not only burnt, we could not arrest him, we could not catch him, he ran away. If one monkey can do that, just imagine how powerful Ram must be. And Ram has got millions of such monkeys. If all these people come here, then we will be all wiped out. None of us will survive. So I think the only solution is surrender. We need to tell to Ram, we're really sorry. We made a mistake. We apologize. We shouldn't have done it. We should not have kidnapped Sita. So we most respectfully bring Sita back to you and we surrender. You please apologize. Ravan would not listen any of this. You know that, how arrogant he was. He would not listen any of this. And says, look, you are my brother and you're talking on the side of my enemy. How dare you can do that? Well, you are right, I'm your brother, but I'm not talking side of my enemy. I'm talking the reality. Because if you don't surrender, then the whole army will come and we all will be wiped out. So I'm talking in the interest of our citizens here in Lanka. I'm talking in the interests of your life of everybody else. But Ravan will not listen any of that. Well, they keep praying him and he keep ignoring him. And eventually touches his feet that I beg you, sir, please listen to me, Vibhishan says. Then Ravana is so annoyed, he kicks him, He kicks him that, get lost. Don't give lectures to me. I don't need you. Vibhishan is hurt, because he's respecting him, he's praying him, but Ravana is not listening. And on the contrary, he kicks him. When he kicks him, now he has Vibhishan thinks, I had enough. I can't live here anymore. And then he leaves Lanka. So Vibhishan is also, is a demon, but he is Ram devotee. So he has other superpowers. So he can also fly. So he flies with his 4 ministers to Ram, comes on this side and meets Ram and falls in the feet of Ram. That, oh Lord Ram, please forgive me. Please forgive my brother. I'm a younger brother of Ravan. Ravan doesn't think straight. I tried to persuade him, but he wouldn't listen to me. On the contrary, he kicked me. So I've come to your shelter. So I'm under your sharan, under your shelter. Please give me shelter. So Bhagwan Ram shelters Vibhishan. So Vibhishan and Ram become friends. So Vibhishan is one of the 3 friends in Ram Katha of Sri Ram. One friend is Nishad, whom we met very early. He was the one who helped cross the ocean, and then he brought him up to Chitrakoot. Other friend was Sugriv, we talked about him last time. A third friend is Vibhishan. So Vibhishan becomes his friend, and then they discuss, okay, now what do we do? Hanumanji tried to persuade him. He would not listen. You tried to persuade him. He would not listen. So what do we do now? Well, all the ministers of Ram, like that included Vibhishan now, Vibhishan, Lakshman, Jama, Hanumanji, Anga, Nal, Neel, they all had a meeting that what do we do now? But the only course we have is we have to attack Ravan. We don't have any other course. So an order is given to army, the monkey army, to go to Lanka. Well, you can't go to Lanka. They walked, came up to the ocean. And now we're stuck, right? Because now we have to cross the ocean. Now, when they're at the ocean, then that same problem came, which Hanumanji and other people faced just a few minutes we talked about. How do we cross this ocean? Now, of course, they could have all flown, but Ram would not do that. We are not going to do that. We want to do that, make some effort as any human being will do. So what do we do? How do we cross this ocean? We don't see any boat. We don't see any ship here. And it's 100 yojan wide ocean, 100 miles. So what do? What we are going to do is we're just going to pray to ocean. Maybe he can tell us what to do. So Bhagavan Ram prays to ocean, that he sits down and start praying to ocean that please tell us, how do we cross you? Maybe you have some formula, you have some solution. So he sits there for 1, 2, 3 days. 3 days are gone, but the ocean doesn't move, doesn't present himself. After 3 days, Lord Ram's patience run out. And he becomes a little wild that I have to dry this ocean. So if I use one of my fire arrow which will emit fire, I will shoot it to the ocean. It will dry, it will burn all the water of the ocean, and it will dry it up completely. And once it is dry, then you can cross, right? Like some of the river, it's all dry river, then we can all walk through the river. We cannot walk over the river if there's water. So while he took his arrow and about to shoot, with that heat alone, the ocean got scared. And he presented himself in form of a Brahmin. He came and said, "Sir, I apologize. I'm really sorry. I was very arrogant. I did not listen to you. For 3 days you've been praying me, but I didn't really care. But please don't dry me. If you dry me, there are thousands and thousands of lives live within me. Like within the ocean, there are so many different kinds of fishes, alligators, so much of life. If the ocean is dry, that all life will destroy it. So whole balance of nature will be destroyed. So please don't do that." Then Lord Ram smiled that I don't have any desire to dry you. All I want is your advice. How do we cross this ocean? How do we cross you? We need to go on the other side. So do you have any advice? Maybe you know something. Then ocean advises them. Then look, Ram, you have these 2 monkeys in your army, Nal and Neel. Well, yeah, we have that sitting right here. Well, they have some superpower. They've been blessed with a special blessing. Well, what is that? That their blessing is if they touch a stone and drop in the ocean, then it will not sink. And there is a story behind that, which I will not tell. You can Google it. Because otherwise, you drop a stone in the ocean, it will sink, right? And anything you drop, heavy thing in the ocean or the water, it sinks. But they are especially blessed with that. It will not sink. So all you've got millions of monkeys. So send them around, collect all the small mountains, stones, things like that, and give them to Nal and Nail, these 2 brothers. They will touch them and they'll drop in the ocean, and I will remain very calm. So that all the stones will remain in the same place where they drop. Otherwise, they can also, once you drop, because of the waves, the stones can go here and there. But I will stop all my waves and I'll be very quiet. And with all those stones, the bridge will be automatically constructed. So that's how the bridge was constructed. All the monkeys went around, found all the mountains and broke into small stones, gave to Nal Neel touched them and dropped them. One after another, millions and millions of stones were dropped, and the bridge was automatically formed. 100 yojan long bridge, about 800 miles long bridge. And when that, it's called Setubandh. or just Setu. Setu means bridge. That the Setu was constructed. When Setu was constructed, then Lord Ram was very happy. Now Setu is constructed. We can just cross the river and we can cross the ocean. But before we cross the river, I want to pray to Lord Shiva. I have that desire. So he installed Lord Shiva just right there. And so he invoked Lord Shiva and made a Shivalinga, and he worshipped him, sought his blessings before he would move to the other side of the ocean. And that Shivalinga is known as, it's still there, and millions of devotees go and visit that every day. And that's called, anybody knows the name? Yeah, go ahead, Madhansha. Go ahead, Madhansha.
Sir, its name is Rameshwaram.
It is Rameshwaram. Rameshwaram will literally means Ishwara Ram. So Lord Ram himself named that as Rameshwaram. So Rameshwaram is a famous Shivalinga in the south of India. So from there you can cross and go to Lanka. So that is how the bridge was constructed, Shivalinga was established. Now they were all ready to cross the bridge. So what we have done today, actually we covered the material for today's class as well as next class. So what we may need just one more class to finish the course. So we will have one last class probably next time on 27th February, and that will be the last day of the class. So you have any question?
No, sir.
Okay, very good. You don't have any question. So thank you. And I will see you after 2 weeks. Meanwhile, study this. And I think it seems like we will have only one more class and then we'll finish the course. So we'll kind of be able to move a little faster today. Jai Shri Ram. And I will have a good Sunday, whatever is left. And I'll see you next week. Jai Shri Ram.